The live-action Mulan has been dubbed by some as the worst Disney live-action remake, and considering how many people hate those, sucks to suck, Mulan! One complaint that people had was the lack of songs. People said that they were removed to allow for a more realistic Mulan that creates an accurate retelling of the story. However, I heard it was neither accurate nor realistic. And in my opinion, that means they got rid of the best part of Mulan for no reason. Personally, I believe that Mulan has some of the greatest Disney songs of all time. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, of course you'd love this song about getting ripped and training. You live at the gym! And yes, I am very ripped. I do work out just about all the time, but that's not my favorite Mulan song. You see, there's a song that both moves me in message and melody, and that song is A Girl Worth Fighting For.
Think of instead a girl worth fighting for.
Most people write it off as that song before the dead people scene, but I see it as a brilliant microcosm of misunderstood masculinity. On the surface, you may assume this song is about men's idealism and objectification of women, but if that was the intended message, it completely fails. What it really is a beautiful look into the basic desires of men, and it's incredibly wholesome when you take a deep look.
The Huns have invaded China!
So for background, these men were drafted into a bloody and gruesome war. They were pulled from their homes and required to fight because they were able-bodied men. And in this song, they sing about how all of these terrible conditions are bearable due to their ability to imagine this companionship upon their arrival home. The three key characters who sing this song are Yao, Ling, and Chen Po. Let's start with Yao.
What are you looking at?
Throughout the movie, we see him constantly on the verge of a fight. He's jumpy and easily angered. His most outstanding feature is his height. He's very small, far smaller than any of the other soldiers by a long shot, despite his apparent adulthood. From this, we can assume that his height is something he's had to struggle with over his lifetime and compensate for with his personality. To go even farther back, you have to understand that adolescents are terrible and awful, and they pick on whatever makes other children stand out. Likely in Yao's case, he was bullied for being short, being that he would make for an easy target. So over the years, it can be assumed that his personality changed to protect himself, becoming far more intimidating and threatening to others so that they didn't have the chance to view him as weak. He likely had to spend a good portion of his time making up the difference in strength between himself and other men due to their difference in size. His black eye confirms that even with his tough attitude and his guard up, he still fights and still gets hurt by others. So when he opens up about what keeps him going in the song, what he chooses to sing about takes on such immense beauty.
My girl will marvel at my strength, adore my battle scars.
This is so touching. His dream girl is just someone who can admire his personal strength that he's worked his entire life for, and will not only look past the physical trauma brought onto him by others, but see him as beautiful because of them. He's scarred and beat up, a condition he never asked for and can do nothing to help now that it's happened. He just wants someone to see him as handsome.
My girl will think I have no faults.
Again conveying the message of desiring acceptance and the ability to finally be vulnerable with someone without being hurt. Next there's Ling.
Hi, I'm Ling.
And really, he just wants someone who's attractive. He describes his ideal woman as paler than the moon with eyes that shine like stars.
I want her paler than the moon, with eyes that shine like stars.
All things considered, a man desiring a woman who has pretty eyes and nice skin is pretty wholesome. It's not the most virtuous desire, but an appreciation for beauty isn't something he should be shamed out of wanting. He didn't say she needs to be anorexic and still have amazing proportions and dress well in revealing clothes. And now Chen Po, he's the sweetest character of all time.
Oh, Yao, you made a friend.
He spends the entire movie just protecting his friends and uplifting everyone. He's taller than all the other soldiers by a wide margin. He's also he's a thick boy. In most cases, kids who aren't threatening get picked on because they can't defend themselves. But when it comes to big boys like him, bullies don't want to risk losing a fight. So instead, they verbally abuse the kids behind their back because they can't physically compete. And because of this, bigger kids tend to close themselves off from others because they develop some sort of trust issue, thusly causing them to struggle making friends. So then what's this guy's comfort? What's his hope in the world after being looked down upon by all of his peers? Food! The thing that's always there to make him feel good when so many people have made him feel so bad. It doesn't judge him or gossip, it's constant and it's loyal. So when Chen Po begins singing about how he doesn't even care what the girl of his dreams looks like or dresses like, all he cares is that she can cook. That's the most undeniably wholesome desire of any man ever. He just wants a companion who can share with him that thing that kept him together over the years. That thing that elicited more joy than any person ever could. Someone who can bring him that happiness and not shame him for desiring it.
That I'm a major find.
He just wants someone to see his value. That's all. The wholesome simplicity of these men's dreams and desires is just, it's so beautiful. But of course, that isn't the point of this song, because that's not the point of this movie. And Mulan shoves her awful mouth in between the lines of these men revealing their hearts, and she just vomits all over them. She says,
"How about a girl who's got a brain, who always speaks her mind?"
Like, clearly, they aren't going to go, yeah, finally, that's what I want. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have been dreaming about a girl who demeans my intellect and constantly disagrees with me. That's what keeps me going. The basic desire of most men is not to find some unintelligent woman they can treat as subhuman. Most men just want someone who they can share unique trust with and finally be allowed to be themselves fully without fear of rejection. Most guys don't care if girls are smarter than they are. They probably welcome it because that means they won't have to carry their significant other through their relationship in later life. But that's not what men dream about. They don't dream about women who are financially responsible or well-versed in political science. No, those are necessities brought upon by struggles of the real world. It's like how you don't dream about driving to work. Yeah, a car's really nice because work is far and walking would be awful. Cars are useful and make life easier. So do respectable traits in a significant other. But that doesn't mean that they're fun to think about. So whether this was the intention of the song or not, this is how I interpreted it, and I was deeply moved by the take on how lovely masculinity can be, and how society seems to often mishandle it and make assumptions about people's motivations.
Men can be these boisterous slobs, and it's all good.
I hope you enjoyed my take and maybe learned a little something.